Welcome to Love in Life, a guide to a positive mindset. My name's Lisa and I'm here to help you unlock the secrets to a happier, more confident and more fulfilling life. In the first 99 episodes, we explored not just practical tools that can elevate your mindset and your life, but also delved into the spiritual aspects like the power of crystals, universal laws and energy healing. Whether you're new or returning, let's continue this inspiring journey of growth and self-discovery together. Welcome back to Love in Life, a guide to a positive mindset. Today we're talking all about the throat chakra and how it impacts your self-expression. So we are going to be looking at what the throat chakra is. I'm just going to take you through a little recap on what it is and how you might know it's out of balance. We're going to talk about the link between the energy in your throat chakra and how this might make you show up at work. Then we're going to take a look at why that might happen or why that might be impacted. And then I'm going to take you through, as usual, I'm going to take you through a really quick visualization at the end, just to try and help you speak up a little bit better. Before we go into that, as always, I just want to thank you all for listening, for sharing, for engaging in any of the social media content, whoever you are, wherever you are. Thanks for coming back. Just a little quick life update from me. Obviously, the last month has been all about supporting Alfie, my eldest son, through his GCSEs, his exams. Like, that is one of the perks of being self-employed, is that I can be flexible. I'm not going to lie, I'm looking forward to life getting back to normal, seeing regular clients and having more time to book myself in. He's got his prom tonight, so that's super exciting. And do you know what? It's really making me, as always, it's really making me reflect and, feel sentimental, but also reflect on when that was me. Prom wasn't a really nice experience for me, to be honest. Like, I seem to remember being in a weird place at that time. I didn't really know, what 16-year-old does, but I didn't really know who I was, who I wanted to be. I didn't feel comfortable being in my own skin. Looking back now, I know exactly why. But one thing I particularly remember about my prom is that at one point we were all in a circle and they were doing a dance off, and it was just when Run DMC had brought back out It's Like That. I can't remember what the song's called. It might be called It's Like That. I can't remember. But yeah, everyone was like taking it in turns to go into the middle and doing their own move, and oh my god, that is quite a traumatic memory for me, for worrying about what people think of me. Like, am I going to get laughed at? Like I said, I know now, looking back from the bullying in previous years, I know exactly why I felt like that, but I didn't know that at the time. But moments like that have led to my throat chakra being the most blocked energy center for me. Like, that is always the first one. So this is always a really good area for me to work on. So let's get into the episode. So the throat chakra is obviously based in the throat, and it's linked to communication. It's linked to truth, obviously, linked to anything that comes out of your mouth, basically. It's linked to authentic expression. It's linked to being able to be yourself, truly yourself. So the signs of there being an imbalance might be things like holding back on things that you want to say, feeling like you have to please everybody from a fear of being judged, being disliked, feeling like you have to over-explain everything. Again, a lot of it tends to link back to a deep-rooted fear of worrying about what people think about you. Sometimes it can show up as physical signs like sore throat, a tight jaw. It can show up as tension in the neck and shoulders. This is something that I personally really struggle with. Sometimes you will feel like you're swallowing down a lot. You might feel like you've got a lump in your throat, and that is you physically swallowing your words down. It's like a physical representation of what's going on emotionally inside. You are swallowing down your words because you can't be your true self for whatever reason. Now, the reason why I have decided to tie this episode in with how this shows up in the workplace is because many clients come to me because of not being able to speak up in meetings. They struggle to say no to things because they want to say yes to everything. They struggle to set boundaries. They are too scared to share their opinion in meetings, so in group calls or meetings, because they worry that their opinions aren't valid or that their ideas aren't good enough. Sometimes they've received feedback and it really makes them look at themselves and how, if they had more confidence in themselves, how it might make them be able to show up better as themselves in work and have more confidence, have more self-belief. Like, this is a real thing that many of us suffer with. So whether you are employed, whether you work for yourself, whether you have a business, multiple businesses, you might even be a stay-at-home parent, this affects many of us in many different ways. But it all links back to the throat chakra. And I really do like to tie everything into like what chakra might be imbalanced when you're feeling a particular way. So this is the throat chakra and the solar plexus are two areas that I focus on a lot with clients because they are both linked to confidence, self-belief, and being able to show up as yourself, having confidence in showing up as yourself. So you might find yourself holding back opinions. So thinking things like, what if my opinion isn't good enough? I don't want to speak up because I might, like, what are people going to think about me? They're going to criticize me. My ideas aren't going to be good as other people's. What if I upset somebody by saying what I really think? I don't want to rock the boat or cause any conflict. You might end up people pleasing. So I need to make sure that everybody's happy with me, that everybody likes me. If I don't agree with them, then they're not going to like me anymore. This is basically putting other people's needs before your own, and then often leads to feeling like it's better to keep the peace than being uncomfortable about having a particular conversation or giving a particular opinion. It might lead to speaking aggressively or coming across as aggressive because you're worried about what you're saying. You might end up over explaining. So you might be thinking things like, I need to make my point clear so people understand me. If I don't explain everything, they're going to think I'm wrong. A common one is, I'm worried they're not listening to me, so I'm going to keep explaining myself until they get it. And like I said earlier, you might find yourself experiencing physical signs, so sore throats, tight jaw, tension, headaches, tension in your neck and shoulders, and you're probably going to feel the tension building up, but you don't know how to release it. You might be thinking things like, my body's telling me something, but I'm ignoring it, or I don't know what it is. Feeling like you're holding everything in. And another common one, I need to keep going, even if my body is saying stop. Like, how many of us have had physical signs that we need to slow down, but we keep going? We keep it going because we feel like we have to. We usually feel like we have to because we're worried about what people think if we don't. Like, oh my God, I'm a nightmare for this. I never like to sit still. Do you remember the other week when I was feeling really like overwhelmed and really tired? I had that one day when I ended up procrastinating, and really what I should have done is listened to my body and just taken the day to rest, but I didn't. I ended up doing nothing, but not productively doing nothing. It was like putting off doing things for trying to think of something to do or trying to think what I should do. So yeah, if you're like that as well, or if any of those things, those thoughts, those scenarios have resonated with you, these often stem from fear of judgment. Like, is that a term that's overly used at the moment? Fear of judgment? I use it a lot, so maybe I feel like it's overused, but worrying about what people think. Sometimes you might not even realise that you're worrying about what people think, but if you've resonated with any of those things, then you probably do worry more than you realise what people think about you. It's a desire to be accepted, or a lack of confidence in expressing your true feelings and needs. Why does this happen? Why does the throat chakra become blocked in the first place? Why do we worry about what people think of us? Why do we have a need to be liked or accepted? So our subconscious beliefs, unconscious beliefs that we have learned through our life experiences, and it might not necessarily be things that stand out to you or that you remember. It might be tiny little things from your childhood that your conscious mind can't even remember. But our past experiences of being shut down, being told to be quiet, bullying, being made to feel that we're not important to people, feeling inferior, like any experiences that you've had that have made you feel like this lead to us struggling to say no to things, struggling to set boundaries, dimming our ideas because we're scared we're going to get shut down again. Subconsciously, like, you don't know that you're thinking like this. You don't realise that you're doing this because it's subconscious. It's based on your past experiences. And often these past experiences or these subconscious beliefs have been formed by people that we look up to, which is what makes them so impacted, I think. So as a child, you might have been told to shush or don't answer back by teachers, by parents, especially when you are trying to express your emotions, your feelings, or your frustration. You might have had a sibling who always speaks over you, or a parent who always speaks over you. And this leads to your feeling like your inner voice, your voice doesn't matter. So you learn to quieten it. You might have been laughed at. You might have been dismissed when you were sharing an idea in school. So a drawing or a creative thought, forming a belief that expressing your self, your creativity, leads to embarrassment. You might have had parents who criticised your tone, your energy, being told that you're too loud, that you're too sensitive. I know I had that one. Or that you're too much. You might have grown up in a household where you were expected to be seen and not heard. Like, how often have we heard that as children? Children should be seen, not heard. Fucking hell, I would never use that with my kids. I'm so glad that nowadays we can look back and realise all these things that our parents or adults around us as we were growing up were saying, these bloody crappy things that just aren't true. Anyway, in your teenage years, you might have been speaking up in a class. You might have been asked to read out loud and ended up getting mocked or ignored or laughed at. That's being mocked. You might have been excluded from friendship groups for sharing an opinion, for being friends with somebody else who isn't part of that group. This might have led to you forming an association or forming a belief that self-expression, having your own opinions, having your own ideas leads to social rejection. You might have had a crush on someone and been rejected or laughed at when other people found out about it, reinforcing the belief that being open and honest leads to humiliation. You might, as a teen, have experienced teachers favouring other students, making you feel less intelligent or less important when you spoke up. You might have been trying to set a boundary as a teen, saying no to peer pressure and being made to feel boring, being made to feel difficult. And then later on in life, in adulthood, you might have experienced being interrupted or spoken over in meetings. And I think especially when spoken over by male colleagues or more senior staff, like makes you, especially if this happens over time, feel right down there. You might have had an idea ignored. You might have found that other people have taken your ideas and got credit for them when you didn't. You might have been in a relationship where your thoughts were dismissed, mocked, minimized. You might have been gaslit into thinking that you're overreacting, that you remember things wrong, that you are making a big deal. All of these things, all of these scenarios that I've just given you lead to fear of rejection, fear of judgment, which leads to throat chakras being blocked, not being able to speak up, not being able to be your full self, your true self. How many of those things did you resonate with? I'd love to know. And by the way, if any of these did resonate with you, for ideas on how to heal the throat chakra, if you have got a copy of my chakra guide, if not, then download it. Download the chakra guide or the positivity reset map. And in there, you will find some ideas of different ways that you can heal the throat chakra. So crystals, essential oils, yoga poses, it's all in the chakra guide. So make sure you download that. Okay, I just want to take you through a super quick visualization. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing right now, just take a moment to slow your breath. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. There's no need to stop what you're doing. Just bring your attention inwards. You don't need to close your eyes, but if you can, then do. And I want you to imagine a soft, glowing blue light at the base of your throat. It's warm, it's steady, it's calming. This is your energy center for your truth, for clarity, and for self-expression. With each breath, feel that blue light expanding, clearing away any tightness or fear. You don't need to force anything. Just imagine the energy gently opening. Now picture yourself in a situation where you normally hold back, whether that's in work, so in a meeting, in a conversation, or just in a moment where your voice feels small. Now I want you to see yourself in that situation, standing or sitting tall. Shoulders relaxed, throat open. You speak calmly, clearly, with confidence. You trust your words. You trust your presence. You trust your voice. And as you take a final, confident breath in, hear these words, my voice matters. And as you breathe out, it's safe to speak my truth. And if that moment of calm and clarity resonated with you, this is just a tiny taste of what I offer inside my membership and inside my live group sessions, one of which I have got taking place this Sunday. So if you'd like to feel more confident in speaking up, if you're ready to speak your truth, trust your voice, especially in work and relationships, I'd love you to join us. You can come along, or you can join my membership to be in every single one of my group sessions, or have access to every single one of my group sessions, but also have access to the meditations, the subliminals that go along with them, the crystal workshops that I've started doing. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you've learnt more about the throat chakra than you knew before. Hopefully you have made a link of why you feel the way you do in the workplace and where that might have come from. I'd love to hear about any realizations that you've had today. So feel free to email me, to DM me, and let me know, because I love hearing how it's helped. Okay, until next week, have an amazing week and keep loving life. Bye. Thank you so much for listening today. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you could take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Your feedback helps me reach more amazing people like you, and it means the world to me. And don't forget, you're always welcome to come over to my Facebook group and share what you loved about this episode. Until next time, enjoy the journey and keep loving life.